Didn't specify how much at a time. All right. Camera's on. She should be walking through that door any minute. Perfect timing.
Good morning. Agreed.
All right, let's call this meeting to order. Board of Public Works, City of Washington, Tuesday, September 27th.
No, today
No.
is the
This,
October.
this is October, October 25th, I think it is.
Correct.
Yes, that's close.
7:30 a.m. Welcome, everyone. Stand for the roll call, please.
John Dietmeyer,
Here.
Brad Mitchell,
Here.
Mike Ratatek,
Here?
Steve Richardson.
Here.
Mike Coulter,
Here.
Dwayne Reed, Steve Struberg.
Here.
Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for braving this wonderful weather we have today. Everybody have a chance to look at the minutes? Comments, questions, corrections?
Motion.
Motion. Motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Approved, same sign. Minutes approved, thank you very much. We have a couple of bills today. A wastewater bill, but it
Yes,
looks like
sir.
John has approached the bench.
Yep, couple bills here. I think the last meeting, Kevin basically indicated that the in situ form, the slip lining project from last year, we had final pay. However, he inadvertently forgot the retainage as part of that. So any contract, we have the ability to retain, I think, up to 5%. It's just basically we hold it back for closeout. The job's been closed out, so this is just the final pay of that contract. It's not an ad there, like I said, just retainage held on the contract. So we are asking for your approval to move that forward to council to get that paid.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to pay in situ form, how much we're gonna pay him? $23,141.44. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Approved? Thank you.
Okay, while we're kind of talking about the slip lining, I know it's not on your agenda, but Carrie actually started doing some cammering and just general maintenance and just looking at what this year's budget year looks like for that project. We have, I believe it's $430,000, I think, budgeted out of 3 different funding accounts to do slip lining. We got about 170,000 estimated what we've already identified, so we're working on getting the remainder done. I did reach out to in situ form. Typically, we latch on to a cooperative purchasing contract with the City of Independence. They go out to bid. They have a similar system as ours, and they allow for us to latch on to their contract, basically, and for unit pricing and those type of things. What that is, it's a shortcut way of us to try to get these jobs done faster. Independence did not renew that, or in situ form did not renew that with Independence due to pricing increases. As you probably have heard, the resin fiberglass world is extremely volatile and nobody's doing cooperative purchasing. Prices are all over the place. So I do have specifications that I have drafted up. We'll have to send this out to bid this year, which is really no big deal. However, I would not be surprised if pricing increases were approaching 50, 60, 70% higher than what they've been in the past. So the dollars that we have are just not going to go as far as they did in previous years. I do think it's important that we continue with the dollars that our budget, continue with the program. We do have somewhat of a goal set of the next 6 to 7 years to have the vast majority of our sewer lines slip lined, capital improvement sales tax, a sanitary sewer fund, and the stormwater fund is a new funding source that we're able to use. So I'll come forward with it once we get more information this winter, but just be aware of that we got a lot done in the past couple of years, and it's not gonna go as far, which,
Is there a way of, and I'm sure you probably do, where you're looking at the prioritization of it? And,
Yep.
and maybe minimize it for 6 months, just to see if some of these prices start to come down. I don't know if they will or not. You know, I mean, some of the building stuff is starting to change a little bit, but
we could look at, I mean, one thing we could do is we could look at holding off towards the end of the budget year rather than try to do it in the wintertime and roll into summer. I mean, I could tell you, I mean, I was told, I mean, there's a 7% increase in concrete in January, and there's 15% in asphalt going in next spring. So here's the thing that, and I know I've maybe been preaching this a little bit, but the $680 billion infrastructure plan that Congress set forth last fall, those dollars have not even hit the market yet. So these increases that you're seeing are just dollars that were floating around COVID, general, just construction. So all those dollars that are floating around that Congress let loose, basically, that has to get spent in the next 5 years, those have not, and we're already into year one. Those are still up in grant world. They're not even on the ground yet. They're not out to bid. So I think when we look at what's the risk and what's really going to happen, I think you're just going to see these things going up because there's just not enough suppliers. There's not enough people to do the work, and the money is just flowing like crazy. So with that, I think the risk is on the side of get it done as fast as we can because I don't think it's going to come down. With that, our grants, we have put in grants with DNR. We should know something. I was hoping by the end of October is what they said. They've been delayed too. So I would hope by maybe the next couple months we'll know sewer line extension, water tower, and there's some work on Front Street as well. So we'll know some stuff on that.
Good.
We're aggressively going after every grant we can too.
Right.
So a lot there to digest, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So.
You know, we talked, we talked a couple months ago, we talked a couple years ago, I imagine. Are we working on a strategy for sewer rates,
Yeah.
wastewater rates?
That's my next thing. So, yeah.
There, I wanted to introduce John. He's going to tell us about that.
So we have a meeting, Darren, Mary, and I have a meeting, it's either today or tomorrow. I didn't look at my calendar this morning, but today or tomorrow to go over it. I did some projections based on the 10-year, basically on the revenue coming in, and then the 10-year expenditures that we have to put together every year. Okay, that's kind of a little shot in the dark, but we put that together. I did I did a conservative, if we just did a CPI escalator of 3%, we all know that number's somewhere, I'm shocked if it is 7, but 3% is what we did on the revenue side. So 3% more coming in every year, not necessarily on the expense side. So, and what we have there is we start to see this thing turn around pretty quickly. So I'm supposed to meet with them today to go over what my projections have, little quality control, I do it, they review it type deal. That maybe all we have to do is put in verbiage in the ordinance that a CPI escalator goes in, rather than have to do a rate increase with a CPI escalator. That's what we had to do with the water fund. We had to do a rate increase plus that. So I think by just putting that verbiage in, I think we'll get it straightened out. It's not as dire as the water fund was. Water fund was going red pretty quick, but the sewer fund is actually a little bit better. But with that, I mean, it's volatile with the market, right? I mean, water rates 7.2%, back-to-back years. That's substantial. But also pipes up, doubled.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's the general strategy, and I think that's the right strategy, but we'll know a little more at the next meeting.
Good.
So,
All right, thank you.
John, how much more do we have to slip line? Is this an ongoing project that I'm gonna have to deal with,
yeah,
next 4 years? Or can we get it done and then, okay, that is done?
Yeah, we have, so capital improvement sales tax, and I'm gonna get the numbers wrong, so, on what was allocated, but it was a pretty substantial amount.
Right.
That, when you look at the prioritization of the capital improvement sales tax money, it got pushed to the back. So it's like it's backloaded rather than front-loaded. But what happened was, a couple years ago, I worked with Mark Piontek, basically, to see if we could utilize stormwater fund money. Because the stormwater fund money, there's money in there, there's $3.5 million. And is a sewer problem that is caused by stormwater, by a rain situation, can I use the stormwater fund? The answer was yes. So, oh, here we go, there's a funding source, little creative funding, basically. So that's kicking money into it. The sewer fund is also. As far as what we have to get done, I don't know that standing here. We have that, though, on our GIS. We're trying to get that stuff so we can give you that information. A lot of the 10, 8-inch sewer has already been done. That's been done in previous years before we started aggressively going at. It's the 6-inch stuff, the small stuff in the downtown area that they couldn't do at the time because they didn't have the little robots to go in there and cut the sewer laterals out. They have those now. So we're getting caught up on those things. I don't know. I'm going to just guess we might have 50% of the town done. And when I say the town done, Fifth Street essentially to the north.
Right.
Everything to the south is essentially PVC.
Right.
So we don't have a biggest concern.
Thank you. It's
I can
just-
get you that.
It's just nice to know before I got here that we're looking 10 years down the road,
Yeah.
And that's important.
They've been doing that. I mean, the wastewater department's been doing that with limited resources, financial resources for quite some time. It's when the stormwater fund, that creative fiscal way of getting more dollars into it, that really kicked it into high gear. So we're pretty happy with that. And then I guess on the last thing on wastewater, the new sanitary sewer lateral program that went into effect in January, we projected 20 people to take advantage of that. We're about a year into it. I think we've had about 9 to 10. So we're not going to hit that 20 number, but I've only had one person turn it down. And out of that 10 number, those 10 would not have replaced the sewer line underneath the street. They just would have went to the back of the curb because they couldn't afford it. So that kickback that we're not kickback, that reimbursement that we're giving to the property owners of that $4,000 is going a long way. And I've had a lot of real positive stuff on that. So just so you know.
John, why would somebody turn it down?
Because it's still, they could do a spot repair, might cost them $1,000, or they could replace the whole sewer line for $10,000, get $4,000 back, and still be in the hole for $6,000.
Yeah,
So it may just be that they don't have the dollars to do it. I tell them, well, it's called a sleep program. I mean, I want to sleep at night, and so do you. So you should probably just do the whole thing. But so it's been good. So I don't know, a lot of positive stuff. So that's all I have. Sorry, winded.
All right, any other questions on wastewater from anybody? We'll move on to water. We've got a bill for Cochrane.
Yes, design bill for the storage tank. We had a meeting with them maybe a month ago now to move into like 90% plans. It's a pretty straightforward project. Again, I just, pricing so volatile, I have no clue what the number's gonna come in at. But we do have that grant through MDNR to offset some of the costs. Again, the funding sources there are the water fund, capital improvement sales tax. And then if we are unsuccessful with the grant with MDNR, we've also applied to Franklin County with their ARPA funds as well. So we're trying to get some dollars to maybe offset some of these inflationary deals. So, and then our ARPA funds pay into this as well. So it's just a pay request for design services. So, and we will be out to bid probably December, January. It's a good time to bid. Get going in the spring.
That'd be great.
So moved.
All right, so we have a pay request number 5 for $3,748 to Cochrane. Motion?
I did. And a second.
Motion and a second?
Yes.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passed, so we will pay request number 5. Thank you very much. Other business, old business? No business? Monkey business?
Any
All right.
concerns? from anybody? All is good?
All is good.
Good.
Keep the pressure up and,
Yeah. Oh, that, actually, I think we reported on that, but Stonecrest and Fairfield now have two sources of water coming to it, which is something that's been in works for almost 25 years.
Yeah.
So that's a huge, huge deal. And I know there are concerns regarding South Point Road and it being closed. I know Special Road District's working towards getting that paved out, but our water line over there is a big, big deal for the residents out in that area.
great, good to hear. Yeah, thank you. All right, our next scheduled meeting is for Tuesday, November 22nd. If there's no further business to discuss, we'll take a motion to close.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you all.
I don't know, we could have drug this out at least another minute.
Second.
Yeah, sure.
Hey,
I'm good with this.
Veterans Day program. American Legion.
let me check my timing.
All right, it's Veterans Day, Friday the 11th.
That's right.
Okay, November 11th,
Yes, the Friday, Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, city
You got a
closed.
pen? I don't have a
Nothing on the calendar. What time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
I will send you further details when I get the program all done.
Yep,
Thanks.
Very good. Thank you so much.
2:18, 10 o'clock.
You've done your duty for the day, right?
I got other duties. I did my American Legion duties for the day.
Beach.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Save.
Doug, did Darren get back to you on Rotary for Thursday?
Yes,
He was looking for,
yes. I can do that. And it's on the calendar at noon.
noon.
Okay, cool. Monday, the vote. I know you guys weren't happy with the way I
No.
voted, Steve. I get it.